Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a glitter cut crease with the Naked One palette, so let's get into it. So first I'm going to just prime my face with the Wet n Wild Coverall Primer, and then I'm going to use the Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation with the Eco Tools Blending Sponge. The shade I'm using is Creamy Vanilla or 01, and I think this is the lightest shade, at least at the drugstore it is, and it's kind of yellowy, like it has a yellow undertone, but with powder and bronzer it's fine. So for concealer I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer, obviously, and I don't like this concealer because I literally did my makeup like 3 times, and every time I would use it, like I would pat it on my nose and like my nose would not have any more like makeup on my nose because it would just take it off because it's so heavy and thick and sticky. So I didn't really like it. Probably never gonna use it again. But yeah, so I'm just going to set my under eyes with the vanilla shade in the Dulce de Leche palette, contouring palette, with the smaller Eco Tools brush. It comes in a set of 2. And then I'm just gonna set my face with the Coverall pressed powder in light. And then of course I'm going to bronze up my face with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And then after that I'm going to set my under eyes and my cheek, underneath my cheekbone with the Coty Airspun powder. And I don't recommend getting the honey beige color like I got because it leaves a super harsh like white cast on your face, so I would just get the translucent color. And then very firmly I'm going to dust away that baking because the white cast is super hard to get rid of. And then I'm going to apply the Wet n Wild highlighter in the shade Precious Petals with my BH Cosmetics fan brush. Then I'm using the Mellow Wine blush from Wet n Wild and putting that on the apples of my cheeks, and then setting my whole face with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray. And then for brows I'm using the MAC Dip Down little paint pot with a MAC 266 SE brush, and I'm just going to outline my brows and then fill in the tail end with the little paint pot. And then with the Clinique powder that I show all the time in the little silver rectangle box, I fill in the front part of my brows. And then I do my other brow off camera because this is an extremely long process, so I don't want to bore you to death. But after I do both of my brows, I'm going to set them both with the clear brow gel from e.l.f. And then once I set my lids, I'm going to use the Too Faced Natural Eye Palette, and with a MAC 224 I'm going to apply the shade Velvet Revolver, which is a very, very, very light brown, just as a transition for the next shade because I want this to be more of an ombre smoky eye. And then I'm going to use the Naked One palette, and I'm going to take the shade Naked with the same brush just to deepen up the look a little bit. And you want to use the same kind of cool tone browns from lightest to darkest to get more of a smoother transition as opposed to just going in with a super dark shade. It would be a lot harder to blend out. And then I'm going to use the shade Buck, and with the same brush again, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing just to make it look more seamless and put together. And then with a MAC 217 brush, I'm going to take the shade Sexpresso from the Natural Eye Palette. And since this is a natural haired bristle brush, I'm going to just pick up the color and then tap off my brush a little bit just so I can build up the color, because these bristles tend to apply too much pigmentation at one time, which in this case I don't want. So just a little tip, if you're gonna go in with a super dark shade with a natural haired brush, just make sure to tap the excess off and then just build up the color to your liking. And then with the MAC 224, I'm going to take the shade Velvet Revolver again, just to blend out the harsh lines that I have from using that dark shade. And then I'm going to take the shade Buck again on a MAC 224 and just blend that out even more on top of the Velvet Revolver shade. And then I'm going to dust my brush off, or wipe my brush off, and then blend out the very top of my eyeshadow so it blends together evenly. And then with the 217 again, I'm going to take the Sexpresso shade and just deepen up the corners just a little bit more because I wanted it to be a little more darker and smoky. And then with Sexpresso again, I'm going to take a flat shader brush and just run that right on my lower lash line. And once I do that, I'm going to take the shade Buck again, and with a small crease brush, I am just going to buff that out. So after I removed the tape, the line that it gave me was super harsh, so I'm just diffusing it here and making it look less dramatic. So for the cut crease, I'm going to take that same concealer that I used on a flat, super small definer brush, and I'm going to drag it just on the inner corner of my lid. And since my eyes are kind of hooded, I'm going to take the concealer and run it right on my crease, but just go a little bit higher than my crease, so whenever I apply the glitter, you can actually see it when my eyes are open. Just a little tip for anyone who has hooded eyes and wants to do a cut crease. You don't necessarily have to follow your crease line, you can just fake it and make it look a little bit higher. And then from the Natural Eye Palette again, I'm going to take the shade Haven, just on a little small brush, like a flat brush, so it's not sticky and I can apply the glitter evenly. And after that, I'm going to take the not Wet n Wild, Essence Felt Tip Liner and just create a wing. So then I'm going to take the glitter liquid liner from Hard Candy in the shade Lace and just run that on my crease very, very carefully because I don't want it to transfer, so I have to keep my eye open because if I blink too hard, it will like get everywhere. And then I'm going to use the Maybelline Falsies mascara to prep for lashes. These are the Kiss lashes in the style Gala. And then I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Eye Kohl in the shade Calling Your Buff. And once I do that, I'm going to then apply the Soft Matte Lip Cream from NYX in the shade Stockholm. And once I'm finished with my lips, I'm going to go get dressed and do my hair. And then that is it for this look, you guys. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!